In this video, I'm going to show you how you don't need a wall of colors to complete an acrylic painting. I'm going to finish a painting with just 5 colors. Which 5 colors? These 5 colors. So let's crank up those studio lights and get started. So I've had quite a few people over the years say to me, how come you don't paint common birds like robins and cardinals? It might be because they're done to death, but I thought, hey, let's do a robin for this first video. And this is a painting I recently completed. I plan on doing the robin in a similar style. This is a laughing gull painting. I have to probably have it level with my face so it's in focus. So sort of a darkish, dark background, dramatic lighting. We're going to do the same thing with this robin painting. A lot of it's going to be voiceover. I'll let you see the canvas, which is on my easel here. For the background, I'm only going to use 2 brushes, a dagger, number 3/8 inch dagger, and I'm going to use a number 8 round. The numbers on brushes to me are a mystery even after decades of painting. I have maybe 4 or 5 number 8 rounds from different manufacturers, and they vary in size from this size to this size to this size, so it's got to be the most ridiculous measuring. That's why it's very hard to buy brushes online. That's another story. Here's the palette. For the background, I'm going to use only 3 colors: yellow ochre, ultramarine blue, and burnt umber. That's it. Disregard these other ones. That's from past paintings. All right, let's get going. So if we look back at this other painting, one more time, you can see the light comes sort of from this angle down through this angle, kind of like the light from my windows coming at me right now. So I'm going to do a similar thing with this painting, and I have the light coming from this side down through this side. The subject, the robin, is going to be sort of on this section of the painting, and just a simple background, or a simple branch, sorry, with the background fading from light in this corner to dark down in this corner. So let's just get these mixed up and let's get going here. So ultramarine blue and burnt umber mixed together. This is what I don't think I see enough of on art videos. People don't show the paints actually mixing. They just say, here's the 6 colors I used, and then boom, there's a painting. It's not helpful. Ultramarine blue and burnt umber mixed together make a really nice, almost black. I very rarely use pure black because I prefer to mix colors. I think you get a more rich color. This 10 by 10 I'm painting on has actually been matted with a black gesso, which I really like. I can show you that later on which brand it is. I like that when I'm doing a dark painting, you're not fighting the canvas. So start with a black background on a black. I mean, this canvas was already probably 2 coats of gesso when I bought it, but a 3rd coat never hurts. You can sand if you really want a smooth finish, but for this painting, that's not necessary. I would do that mainly if I'm using for water or similar things like that. So since I'm going to be starting, I mentioned I'm going to be dark from this corner up to the light there. Just watch how these 2 colors mixed together, making almost black on an already black background. Watch, you barely notice the difference. All you might see is a bit of the shine, which is exactly what I want. And then I'll start to introduce the ochre, and I'll mix that down here. A little bit of the blue and the burnt umber. And that's basically going to be the color towards the top with a bits of more flakes of so that's going to be what you're going to see up here. But at the same time, I do want to mix in I'll just go straight back to the dark, okay? Move my palette back over here. At this stage, I'm not trying to get any kind of a finished look. I'm just trying to get the tone. See, that's way too blue. You can see that in the painting, in the picture of the overhead, I'm sure. So I will tone that down. You have time to work. Despite what all the oil painters tell you, you've got, they make it sound like you have 3 seconds to work with acrylics. You got time. And you know what? If you don't like it, you can paint over it. Say it did dry too fast. Oh no, curses. All the oil painters telling you, you're doomed. Acrylic dries too fast. Plastic paints. You know what? If it dries too fast, I'll just go over it again where I didn't like how fast it dried till I get it just right. And I don't have to wait 3 days for that layer to dry before I go over it. I can do it 10 minutes later. So again, this is the other benefit of having the black matte gesso. If there are sections that I miss when I'm covering, like I'm going really dark down here in this corner, if I miss a little spot here, a little spot there, it's not going to matter because the black gesso is going to show through, and you're in business. Again, I'm not too concerned about the brush strokes at this point. It's more about the shift from light to dark coming this way. And I won't obviously do it corner to corner because that's a bit much. So it'll sort of be maybe from here to here, you know, like on a line like here. I mean, there's times when that would be maybe an architectural painting where corner to corner the math works, but for wildlife, not a fan of that. Really just get, I need a little bit more darkness, or light tones over that with a little bit more yellow ochre. And again, once this dries, I'll see spots I don't like and just go over them, but key is to do this quickly. On a 10 by 10 painting like this, it should take maybe 10 minutes to, it's really not a long time. And because you're going back to different parts of your palette, you can see here, I've got parts that are lighter and parts that are darker, and then I got the yellow down here, the ochre, and from this side of it a little bit lighter, then this side's a little bit darker. Those slight differences, when you come back, you're always going to a new spot in the canvas. That's exactly what you want. This is exactly how I did the background of the Laughing Gull painting I just showed at the beginning. So hopefully the glare is not too bad. You can see I've almost met up with where I started to show you where the black was, and there's just a line of dry sort of through here. So get that covered up a bit. And again, if I was fighting a white canvas here, I would have to make sure I'd have to go over it and over it and over it and over it. That's why I love starting with, on a painting that's dark tones, I like starting with the black gesso background. What I used to do up until I found this gesso that I liked, what I used to do was figure out the colors I wanted, like these three, and I would maybe mix them together, and I would add them to gesso, and I would gesso with that tone. And that's still not a bad way to go. But for really dark painting backgrounds, I'm a big fan of this this matte gesso. I will show it to you, I promise. I keep saying that, it still hasn't shown it to you. Oh, what is it people always say? I'll put a link below. But I can't remember where I bought it. Amazon, I think. I'll put a link below. I don't get any money for it. I'm not part of Amazon's affiliate program. Is that what it's called? Yeah. So I'll put a link below and you can go buy it and try it yourself and let me know what you think. It's really affordable. Guess I could show you what it is. Keep talking about it. Found it. Again, no affiliation. It's called Mont. Oh man, I'm gonna butcher this. Mont Marte, French, black gesso, universal primer, 500 mil on Amazon. I'm in Canada. It was less than $20. And if you're concerned about where it's made, I think it's France, which it sounds like, right? I guess I should have had this prepared. Sure, let's say France. We'll say it's made in France. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, highly recommend. Give it a try. So as you can see, hopefully, almost done with this layer. Again, this whole first pass is done with the dagger brush because I can pull it this way and get sort of a wide, or I can pull it this way and get long, skinny. It's a very versatile brush. And the keen-eyed might notice that it is a very cheap Royal soft grip brush by Royal Langnickel. Is that who makes them? Get these at like Michael's when they have them, which is sometimes not always the case. $6, $7, so cheap. And they last a long time, and I like the action with them. Watch so many artists on YouTube saying, this $40 brush is amazing. Well, yeah, it's $40. I would hope it's amazing. $40, I should be able to just lay it in the palette and then watch it paint for me. But I'd much rather have 5 of these, beat the you-know-what out of them, and I was going to say throw them out, but I never throw out brushes. They just become useful for other things. When they get tattered and torn and won't hold their shape anymore, they're good for different strokes. So yeah, if you could never bring yourself, I think I would throw out a brush when every bristle fell off it. If there was 2 bristles left, I would say, I got a use for that. Another thing I use for bringing back the light is a little bit of water. This I'll do more with the round, but I just wanted to kind of give it a feel. Okay, so that's first pass. We'll let this dry, and we'll come back and hit it with the round brush, add a little bit more, get rid of the places where you see just too much distinct lines. Okay, so the background has dried. I mentioned before that I did the first bit with the dagger brush. You can see the dagger brush there over the canvas. And the next step was going to be the round. I didn't have to actually do much, and I was quite happy with the background. The round, I didn't bother filming it, but I just did a little bit of blending where I saw like some sharp edges here because I want this to fade away, like it's far away in the background, just a little bit of light coming through. So I just did a bit of blending, 5 minutes maybe max, and it was how I liked it. So I'm good with it. And you can see now I've transferred my sketch onto the canvas. I give you a short little explanation what I do there. I tend to do about 90% or more of my sketching on my iPad in Procreate. Get exactly the way I want it. Sometimes I include the background. What I'll do is I didn't do it with this one, but I'll take a picture of the canvas with the background complete or near complete, and then I'll work my sketch over top of it. That way I can move it around and see exactly where I want it before getting it on the canvas. Just speeds things up, as opposed to like starting to paint and saying, that's not where I want it, this doesn't look good. So then you get exactly where you want it, get the sketch to the point where I'm happy with it, and I'll transfer it to the canvas using my ancient projector, and comparing it to my Procreate on my tablet to make sure that it's positioned exactly where I want it. Because I mean, I see people say, okay, now I'm happy, I'll sketch it on the canvas. I'm not here to sketch things 12 times for one painting. I sketched it, I was happy with it in Procreate. So I'm going to use the technology to my advantage, get the sketch exactly where I placed it on the iPad, on the canvas, and go from there. So the next bit will just be, I'm going to show you a time lapse of me roughing in the colors of the robin, and I'll give you the palette that I'm using, just like I did with the background, and hopefully you'll learn something and create your own painting similar or with your own spin. Let's go. Okay, so I first start off by working on the branch. Very simple, one single branch spanning the painting, sort of in the opposite diagonal of the light to dark color, which I thought is somewhat interesting. And the scene sort of takes place at this time of year, later in the fall. Some of the lingering robins are still around. Robins in my area at least a few of them stay all winter, so they just tend to move into the forests during the winter. So this is a bird I see any time of year, even January and February, March. Obviously you can tell the spring's here when large numbers come back and appear in people's yards and that, but it's definitely a bird I see year-round in southwest Ontario. So yeah, I started out with getting the colors sort of close. I work them a lot darker. So you'll notice the reddish breast on this bird. It'll start out darker, it'll get a little bit lighter, but I'm not going to go for the super bright because it's supposed to be a dark, sort of late fall scene. Again, I'm not going for overly detailed with this. We're just trying to keep the feeling right, the tones, the colors, and have that nice light shining off on the right side of the bird. I think I turned the painting sideways at one point to do the soft right edge of a bird there, because it's really hard to work all in one direction. And the colors I used for the breast of the bird was a burnt sienna, yellow ochre, and some transparent alizarin crimson in various quantities. And for the darker gray back of the bird, more of the ultramarine blue and the burnt umber. And the only white I used is a mixing titanium white, so it's a transparent white, it's not a solid white. So truly no solid blacks or solid whites in this entire painting. And there's the completed painting, just 5 colors. Thanks for staying till the end. Hope you learned something. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you paint something using these techniques, tell me what you painted. Till next time.